Wait, hold on. You're telling me this death, without a pet, has the same damage as a Storm Wizard? With still more health and better crit block stats, and the same pierce as a Storm, without a pet? Okay, dude. Alright, what's going on, guys? Slim here, and today's video, we are going to be talking about the gear audit yet again. This has been driving me absolutely nuts since about week 2 or 3 of Test Run when they actually did the original gear audit changes, and I've been complaining about this for such a long time, but it's because I want to see the game do better, and I want to see the devs do better, because it is objectively just a horrible gear audit. It's got to be the worst gear I've seen in my personal experience of playing Wizard101, and this is coming from a guy who has, every school max level, right? All 7 schools on this account are max level. I did have my death 150, but I deleted him because I found the school really boring, and I was doing a PvE series as well. So point is, I'm coming from the view of playing all 7 schools and running full Merciless on all 7 and running meta on all 7. So I have the most broadest view, I guess that's the best way I could put it, the most broadest perspective on this, and I just really want to talk about it. And I know there's going to be some people that are going to be a bit more biased in the comments and watching this video. Obviously people only have 1 or 2 schools max, and they like those schools respectively, but I'll ask you guys to put your bias aside and listen to the facts and the data in the video. But yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. First thing we're going to be comparing right now, I guess, is pets. Now, if you look at a pet like Storm, right, this is the best pet. You cannot stray from this at all, because if you do, you give up too much stats on top of the stats you already are giving up with the gear audit being horrible, right? So, for example, if we compare Awesome the Sauce's pet on his death, I believe, I'm not sure what it is. I think it's like, what, Proof Defy, Double Word, Dealer, or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, or Sniper, I don't know what it is. I could probably throw a picture up on screen if I find it, but he can run a pet like that, still have the same stats and offense as a Storm Wizard, but auto win to 2 of his hardest matchups, right? Storm can't do that, because if they give up Dealer or Breaker, like, Sauce would, for example, your stats are already bad in the first place, and then you do that, I have the lowest damage in the game at that point, and this is like my pierce is just, I'm not playing Storm at this point, right? That's kind of the issue, right? Other schools have a lot more breathing space in terms of stats and what they can run, basically, is my point here, and Storm just really doesn't have that luxury at all either, to be honest with you. Sure, you can run, I guess, some gimmicky pets, but you're not going to get good stats ever, or perfect stats ever. And some things I've seen, counter arguments, is, Liam, you complain about accuracy, run a double accuracy pet. Okay, somebody tell me what I'm supposed to give up on this pet right here. Where is it? Somebody tell me right now what I can give up on here, right? Can't give up Sniper, right? Can't give up Dealer, or else I'm doing no damage. Can't give up Breaker, or else I'm doing no damage. My resist is already horrible, so I can't give up any resist, right? Give up, what, the D-Lance? Then my pips are even worse than they are right now, right? You cannot get perfect pips on a Storm no matter what you do. And every other school can at the moment. So, and by the way, even if you could run double accuracy and make it work, in a universe where that is a real thing, guess what? It still doesn't work. I only have 33 accuracy at that point, guys. Only 33. I can still fizzle. That's the crazy part. That's just how horrible the gear audit is in terms of pets, right? But again, the main point here is Storm is heavily restricted on what they can run on a pet, when other schools have such good stats that they can run whatever and have success with whatever they want to do. But Storm can't do that. They have to stick with basically something that just keeps them in the game, and it's mandatory, unfortunately. Next up, I'm going to be comparing Merciless to Merciless, so we will take the worst school that has Merciless stats, which is Storm in this case right now. We will be looking at Fire and Myth as well after this, guys. Don't worry about that, but I'm comparing Storm to Death stats right now is the easiest way to get the point across. So, As a Storm, I get 8k health, 164 damage. It is a bit higher, but keep in mind, the higher the intersection goes, the more intersected it is. So it's technically not as good as you think it is. Only 43 resist, which means, what is it? 70% of the schools, I think, or something, pierce through all my resist and do more damage than I do to them. Nowhere near good accuracy. My crit is okay, but keep in mind, every other school gets about 600 plus, and at that point, it's a 0.1% multiplier, something like that. Block is horrible. At that point, the other schools are just going to have a better multiplier than I do on them. 49 Pierce, which doesn't matter, again, with how Resist and Pierce works, unfortunately. A lot of people like to make a big deal out of this, but if you do the math, it's actually, it's still just not good enough, right? If I get hit by this Death Wizard, he's piercing on my resist, getting full crit damage value in, but if I hit into him, he still has resist, and I'm not getting that on top of having intersected damage and a worse crit multiplier, right? Then, yeah, I don't get perfect pips either. By the way, the only school in the entire game right now that cannot get perfect pips no matter what they do on the full Merciless gear, worse conserve as well. So, pretty bad stats, right? Bad health, bad resist. Gets hit hardest by the intersection. Bad accuracy, bad pips, bad block. Yeah, that's good. Then we compare to BW, right? 2k more health, right? Still a lot of damage. That's a really, really good amount of damage. If we compare meta to Merciless, you'll see how insane death stats are. You'll see that in a moment. Still really good resist. That's like 12 more than mine, I believe. Perfect accuracy, by the way. Still 600 crit. His block is 520, but he can make it better. He's just missing a deck, so I think he actually has, I believe, 570 block if he was running a better deck at the moment. 43 Pierce, again, pierces all my resists, so he's actually doing more damage than I am on a Storm. Better conserve, and his pips will be perfect when he swaps his mount. And now there might be some dummy in the comments that's like, oh, well, he'll be giving up like 1 Pierce to get perfect pips. 1 Pierce doesn't matter in the scheme of 12 less resist, way better crit, and 2000 health, and better cards. Just want to point that out. So yeah, like you can kind of see the issue here. The weaker schools are just hitting better than Storm is right now, right? Some examples I can give is I did a comparison between Queen Calypso versus Headless. Calypso is only doing a whopping 2 more damage than Headless. A 2. That 2 damage does not equivalent for having 2000 more health and better stats, King's Owl. No, dude. Why is Sauce's buffed Mockinspiel doing 3.4 when my buffed Ursulco is doing 3.7? That's not a big enough gap. That's a problem. That's a problem. You know what I mean? I'm not even insulting. I'm just like surprised at how unbalanced that is. That's horrible. Like, and the devs might look at that and be like, oh, that's objectively you're doing more damage, but when I get tapped in like 2 hits, it doesn't matter that it does 200 to 400 more damage than my opponent. It doesn't matter. It's not a big enough gap, basically, is my point here, right? Alright, so now I'm gonna run the full meta build on the Storm Wizard and compare that to the meta death build, which is also what we just saw. But I'll compare it again real quick here. So yeah, meta Storm, you get about 8.7, 147 damage, 54 resist, 35 accuracy, bad crit, okay block, not that good pierce for a Storm, perfect pips, and lower conserve, right? Again, compare this to the meta death build, right? More health, more damage, the same resist if not more, perfect accuracy and perfect pips on both ends, so that's fair. But then he gets better crit, he gets better block, so therefore he's doing more damage on a weaker school because of the crit stats, with the exact same pierce, I believe, right? By the way, I want to point this out. He does not even have Breaker on his pet, so he will actually have more Pierce than I do if he had the correct pet on. Just want to point that out. Then yeah, obviously worst conserve. He has like 80% and I have like, what, 50 or something like that. Not that it matters, but you know, that is an objective fact as well. So you kind of see the issue with the offensive schools. And again, especially Storm, I'm going to be touching on Myth and Fire here pretty soon. But Storm gets hit the hardest by it because, you know, it's supposed to be the king of hitting, but ironically, in this meta, it is the worst school for hitting right now because of the stats. It's just horrible stats, right? If Storm was balanced and had better stats and had equal treatment, by the way, that's a very important thing that I'm going to bring up in a minute as well. Equal treatment as the other schools got, Storm wouldn't be bad right now, actually. I would argue it's top 3, but because the stats are so bad in a hitting meta, that puts it towards the back of the pack in the meta. That's the issue here, right? No matter what a Storm does, meta build versus Merciless, right? You have bad stats, right? And if you try to fix that, you give up even more stats, and at that point, you're just doing less damage than the defensive schools, right? So it's just no matter what you do, it's a lose, and no matter what the defensive schools do, they win, right? Another point I want to bring up, why can't the full glass cannon school run the full glass cannon? Like, why can a non-glass cannon school hit better and more efficiently than the full glass cannon school? Why was that not talked about in like the among the developers? Why are we making the hitting school the worst at hitting, right? Why are we doing that, right? So that's a big issue as well. You want to know what's crazy too? This is kind of a random tangent, but I was playing an Ice off stream, and he was doing the damage he was supposed to do, but ironically, he was missing a Pierce Jewel, right? So maybe, I don't know, it's something there KingsIsle could look at, right? An open A-bomb should not be doing 2,000, it should be doing about 1,300, right? So, I don't know, I just thought I'd bring that up, you know? He was missing a whole Pierce Jewel, and he was actually doing the damage he should have been doing as the weakest school in the game. So, for KingsIsle devs watching that, I mean, there you go. There's something to make the game a bit more balanced, or something to take into consideration for a future gear audit. Now, another thing I want to bring up is what I've talked to Cam about. He's a KingsIsle developer. His name's Faircord on Twitch. If you want to go give him a follow, he's a cool guy, by the way. I'm not trying to throw shade or anything, but I talked to one of them, and they seem to think that the schools that actually benefit from running this, they think that they're actually giving up something to run it. And I think that's pretty funny. I think this has to be, I'm not sure if this is just Cam who thinks this, or it's the whole developer team, but I gotta be honest, that is the most delusional thing I've ever heard any developer say in any game. I'm sorry, that's just funny to me. Like, I play like Call of Duty and stuff, that franchise is pretty bad, but that was horrible, Cam, I'm sorry. And I don't know if the rest of the dev team thinks that, but no, guys, no. As you can see, that Death literally is hitting better than a Storm, and he's actually benefiting by running that. He's not giving up anything, guys. He's not giving up anything. He has perfect accuracy, perfect pips, more damage, more resist, better crit, better block, better conserve. Freaking Headless is a Storm card, right? As well. They're not giving up stuff like you guys think they are. The only schools that give up stuff are the offensive schools. And I've also heard the argument from the devs, if you have more damage, you should have like worse stats or less accuracy, and that's really stupid. That's like, that feels like favoritism almost, right? Every school should be playing by the same rules for it to be balanced out, right? Because at that point, you're just saying, oh, hey, screw the offensive schools. Let's just make the defensive schools better, right? And again, I'm not trying to, you know, attack anybody's school at all here. I play all 7 schools, you know, on stream as well. You see that. I upload all 7 schools here on the channel as well. I'm not attacking anybody, but that's just how it is, unfortunately. And again, I don't want the devs to take this the wrong way, but I gotta keep it a $150, man. I gotta keep it 100 on the channel. That is some of the dumbest stuff I have heard. Ice's A-bombs be doing 2 racks, but then my Rusolka can't break 3k. Like, are you kidding, bro? They got perfect stats, more resist, better crit, better block, better cards. Meanwhile, I can't get perfect pips. I can't get perfect accuracy. They actually have better pierce than I do with the resist limit, right? Like, what else do you want from me? My freaking Soul King's Isle? Like, dude, fix your team, please. I don't want to be disrespectful here, of course, but I just, like, I gotta be honest, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, next up, we're gonna be talking about the gear for fire and myth as well, because this is not a storm. The reason I bring up storm is because storm is objectively the one that got hit the hardest in the entire gear audit. I've been saying this since week 2 and 3 of Test Realm. Keep that in mind, guys. But keep in mind, this is a fire and myth issue as well, right? Fire, again, bad health, bad resist, damage is okay, but again, the higher it gets, the more intersected it is. That's just not good, right? Fire has, I think, is just as bad accuracy as Storm, now that I think about it, right? It's, yeah, I have a 6% chance to fizzle shads. Storm has, what, 8, I think, or something like that. So, still pretty bad. Still can't power a normal hit on a fire as well. Block still isn't that good either. Crit, not that good. Pierce, again, compare this to the defensive schools. Defensive schools are hitting harder than offensives right now. Then your pips are actually perfect, unlike Storm. So, in terms of gear audit, Storm is the worst. Then I would probably say I don't know if I'd say myth or fire. Because fire gets perfect accuracy. Actually, I'd say myth is better than fire. I would say storm is the worst. Then, yeah, storm's the worst. Fire is the second worst. And then myth is probably the best out of the 3. Because myth only has a 1% chance to fizzle a shad, basically. But storm and fire can't power anything at all. Okay, so now we're on the myth. Keep in mind, all of the schools I have the exact same build on at the moment right now. And if I hear the argument, you have to give up something or run something else, do you not understand at that point your stats are automatically getting worse than the defensive schools? They get even worse is the point here. So it is fair for me to compare each one of the offensive school builds to their respective school, obviously, right? So again, myth. Bad health, bad resist, damage isn't even that good for a myth, actually. And then you actually do get the highest accuracy out of the 3 schools. You power normal cards and have a 1% chance to fizzle shads. So it is better than Storm and Fire in that regard. A lot of crit, and again, bad block, but I think I can get that higher. Nope, I lied. It's just bad block, like Storm, I lied. But crit's pretty good. Again, Pierce, it's objectively the highest, but it doesn't matter when the defensive schools are doing more damage. And you have perfect pips with pretty decent conserve, right? So, again, one thing I'm going to reiterate at the end of the video here is defensive schools are doing more damage because of the resist and the pierce correlation, and the fact that every single school right now has the damage capability of a Storm Wizard, right? That's just how it is. That's the truth. I'm sorry, King's Isle. I don't care what data you have right now. I've agreed with you guys. I've defended you guys, but this is one of those things in the community where if you don't play the game like I have, you don't play every single school at max, you're not going to understand how bad the gear audit is right now, guys. I've been telling you guys since week 2, week 3 test realm. Just now people are, more people are starting to realize it. Like, I think Sauce has brought it up in one of his streams as well. More people now are realizing how bad it is. I've had people in my Discord server cancel their membership and they're not playing until they fix this damn gear audit. It's really sad to see. And keep in mind, guys, this is the 3 most popular schools are Storm, Fire, and Death, right? So 2 out of 3 of those schools, of the most popular schools, are unhappy with this gear audit. So that's a majority, right? So I don't know, guys. It's just a really sad thing to see, and King's Isle really does need to listen to the community on this one because it's very detrimental, and objectively, it is a horrible gear audit. The worst gear audit I have seen in my, history of Wiz so far. And I just really hope they listen and fix it. And I don't know, if they don't fix it right now, if they leave offensive schools bad until 160, at least please learn your lesson here, guys, and make the gear better for 160. At least please make it fair between all schools, not, have favoritism towards defensive schools. And I don't know, guys, that's really all I got for you. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Again, be respectful, and I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I guess I know it's a bit ranty, but I guess that's kind of the point of the video because I have to get this point across. It's been pissing me off for ever since Chess Realm. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. And as always, take care, guys.